As a Microsoft MVP, it's really important to me that I bring relevant and useful content to the community. I do that already via Twitter, LinkedIn, and this channel. Now, I know many of you watching this know pretty well how to keep on top of the latest news and releases. For me, I just wait for Andrew Taylor's weekly newsletter. He serves up all the new and interesting Intune content for me and hundreds of others on a weekly basis. With that in mind, I actually want to go through one of the articles on Andrew's list. The links for all of this are in the description below. This is a blog from Sean Bulger. He is an awesome community creator and contributor. Sean has put together a detailed article covering a set of tools that make up one possible method for migrating from domain join to Azure AD Joined without a wipe and load. Now, as you may know, wipe and load is the only supported and recommended method for migrating a machine from domain joined to Azure AD Joined. For almost all cases, you should just do that. Just wipe and load the device. In some cases, and in some organizations, that's just not possible. You need to get over to Azure AD Joined without wiping the user's machine. Sean's blog covers exactly how to do this, step by step. I followed those steps, and, well, let's take a look at the experience. Scroll all the way down to the bottom and you get this section which really covers exactly how to install this step by step. Also, it has one really important line, which is that you need to determine your delivery method and update this script. So when we talk about the delivery method, we need to get these scripts and these files onto the machine somehow. That could be group policy, it could be manually, it could be Intune or Config Manager. You need to get them on there somehow. Sean doesn't tell you how to do that, right? And so I'm not going to tell you how to do that. You can figure out your own way, or you could reach out to other community members or myself to get help on figuring out how to do that. For this, I'm just going to cover the user experience. So to cheat a little bit, I'm going to put the files on the user's machine and run them as admin. Obviously, if you use a tool to do that, then the user wouldn't need to take any action and wouldn't see the command prompt and stuff that I'm going to have to show you when I run this tool. But let's jump into it. So here are the files. We've got prepare migration.ps1 and AAD migration.zip. We just need to run prepare migration.ps1. So we're going to open up terminal and just run that command right there. Now I've sped this bit up a little bit just so we can see it all happen. Maybe not in real time, but I want to show you everything that happens for the user experience. Once it's finished the initial part, it starts setting up OneDrive for the user, because that's how it gets the user data somewhere safe, because it's going to need to give this user a new profile, so we need to get that data off onto OneDrive, and so it sets it up for us. Now the data is on OneDrive and synchronized to OneDrive. We're going to give this machine a reboot. That's where the next step kicks in. So manually rebooting this machine, the machine won't reboot automatically during this initial setup, because we don't want the user to be taken by surprise. In order to kick this off, you do need to do a manual reboot or manual sign out and sign back in. So with the user signing back in, after approximately 30 seconds to a minute, PowerShell Application Deployment Toolkit will kick in and start that migration process for the user. As you can see there, we've got 10-minute countdown with which to choose between defer and continue. You can set your own deferral up in the PowerShell App Deployment Toolkit. After that, PowerShell App Deployment Toolkit loads and starts installing this application. Automatically reboots for the user, and the next step is that a user called Migration in Progress signs in automatically using auto login. And this means that the user gets to see this screen, Migration in Progress. It'll reboot a couple more times and get back to this screen. Once it's finished the migration, once it's off the domain and on Azure AD, you get this incredible message for the user. Migration completed. This PC has been migrated to Azure Active Directory. Please log into Windows using your email address and password. And Sean did an incredible job to create this. It's actually using the legal notice. So built-in feature for Windows, all the user has to do is choose OK, and they can get ready to sign in. So now, just tapping in the username and the password here. And because I've set this up with my tenant, the user has to set up Windows Hello for Business, so we'll quickly do that. Type in a PIN using a virtual machine, so there's no other ways to authenticate with passwordless right now. Once that's done, the user's right at the desktop and ready to go. Wait for this stuff to load, and then we'll just jump into the settings page and take a look at what we get from the work and school account. Just jump down to accounts. You can see it's already renamed the device there for me, which is great. Access work or school, and you can see that we're connected to the Azure AD domain, not the on-premises domain, and Intune is working and has synced successfully. So that's awesome. Next, just jump straight into PowerShell and type dsreg cmd/status and just check the status of this device from a joined perspective. And we are Azure AD joined and not domain joined, so that's awesome. So this machine has now been migrated from domain joined to Azure AD joined. It happened to be a hybrid joined device, but I understand that it will work if you're not even hybrid joined. So take a look at Andrew Taylor's newsletter, sign up to Andrew Taylor's newsletter. It's an awesome newsletter to follow every week. Also, take a look at Sean's blog because that tool has blown me away. See you next time.